Now that you're done with the main paper, you have the shortest thing to write, and it may be the most important, the abstract. Remember that the abstract is the hook that gets readers to decide that they're going to delve into your full paper or they're just going to go somewhere else and not really look at it. Remember that various journals have different types of abstracts. Some are free form, and others, such as those at the New England Journal of Medicine, are structured. For a structured abstract, first provide the background, why you did the study. That should take 1 or 2 sentences. Then provide a succinct review of the methods, and that should take 2 or 3 sentences. What was the study design, population, and exposures? What did you do as an intervention? And what did you consider the primary outcome? Then summarize your results in 3 or 4 sentences. Be sure to include the number of patients and percentages, measure association and confidence intervals and p-values. So provide some data in the results. Finally, provide conclusions as one major take-home point that needs to follow logically from your results, and do that in 1 sentence. Be sure to end the conclusions with the primary endpoint of the study and leave out secondary endpoints, which may not really be significant. And do not editorialize. Let your work speak for itself. Now, finally, write your title. Different journals have different policies about title length and about attributions in the title. Some will want you to say what the study was, and 2 or 3 lines are possible. Most clinical journals, however, agree that the title should be clear and succinct. A critical component of writing your paper is this: write clearly. Use 1 thought per sentence, place related thoughts in paragraphs, and avoid redundant or extra words. White in color is white. Entirely eliminate is eliminate. A decreased number of is less or fewer. So use the shortest, clearest phrase, and it's okay these days to use I and we. And use the active voice whenever possible. And it's important to edit your work ruthlessly. It may be helpful to wait a day or 2 before editing so that you can approach your own writing with a fresh viewpoint, almost as if someone else wrote it. And then be ruthless, and you will get a better product in the end. Now you are ready to prepare for submission. Identify an appropriate journal. Keep in mind that an appropriate journal may not be the journal that is most prestigious. It should be where your community, your colleagues, will see the work. When you have decided and everyone agrees, follow the instructions. Then be sure that all the authors meet the criteria for authorship and have signed off on the manuscript. Make the editors aware of and provide copies of related publications and papers in preparation from you and your group. Authorship credit needs to be based on the principles of the International Committee of Medical Journal Editors, or ICMJE. They note that authors should have made substantial contributions to the conception and design or acquisition of data or analysis and interpretation of data. In addition, they should have participated in the drafting of the article or revising it critically for important intellectual content. Further, they must have provided final approval of the version to be published and have agreed to be accountable for the work. These days, acquisition of funding, just collecting the data, or general supervision of the research group alone do not justify being an author. When you submit your paper, you need to write a cover letter. That letter summarizes your work in a sentence or 2 and allows the editors to know why you're submitting it to them. Keep it brief. Summarize the purpose and contents of the paper. Include statements about authorship and assure the editors that the work has not been published and is not under consideration anywhere else. Today, it is fine to provide suggestions about potential reviewers, people you think would be excellent reviewers of your paper, and people you feel might be biased and should be avoided. The editors of the given journal may or may not adhere to your suggestions, but it is fine and even a good idea to provide those. Finally, in writing the letter, be sure that you write to the correct journal and editor. Too many times, as a deputy editor, I have seen submittal letters that are actually to another journal with another editor's name. That will never win you points.